Hello and welcome to the Election Corner on One Man Think Tank. This time I want to talk about the New York City mayoral election, because apparently Andrew Yang looks like he's going to run. Now, in my opinion, this is really good news. You might have, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you probably know my opinions on Andrew Yang when he ran in the presidential election. I felt he was underqualified and, while had some good ideas, overall did not have the fully fleshed out solutions that someone would need to run for president. And also seemed a little bit underprepared, if I'm being totally honest. But honestly, New York City mayor is a pretty good spot for him. And I believe there are two reasons why it's really good. Ignoring the fact that Andrew Yang genuinely seems like a decent person, and at the very least, an intelligent guy with, morals. There are two reasons I think he's a good idea. One, he would be an Asian American political leader in the United States, and we have so few of those. And this is just in general, I'm not speaking for the Democrats or the Republicans here. There are so few of those. I do genuinely see, especially in Asian American friends of mine, a level of disconnect from the political process because you just kind of assume, well, political leaders are white or black or Latino. You don't really see Asian American ones. So for Andrew Yang to essentially over the course of just over a year go from a nobody to a full-fledged key political figure is a very potent showing, in the sense of it's going to be very effective. It will, I think, honestly encourage Asian American connection into politics, which is great. But also, there's a second point. And this one's a lot more policy related. Shocker, me talking about policy. And that is, he will definitely try and enact UBI. And it will, if it works, it will guarantee eventual adoption at the federal level in the US. You see, New York City, being the mayor of New York City isn't just being a mayor of a large city. It is essentially like being a governor. You are treated with the same level of respect and authority as the governor of your own state, for one thing, but the governor of most places. It's like being the mayor of DC. You are better than most other mayors in the eyes of the average person just because of where you are in charge of. And this also extends down to the legislative side of things. New York State devolves powers down to the localities where they have total autonomy to pass their own laws and regulations unless the state has preempted them in some way. So, if Andrew Yang wants to, he could pass UBI into law in New York City. He just needs to get the support of the New York City Council, I believe is their official title, which could be a little bit harder, but when you're mayor, you do have a significant amount of power. And even if he just gets a small one going, that's effective. He's essentially given 8.7 million people, I think it's 8.7 at this point, universal basic income. And furthermore, if you want to look where progressive policy comes from in the US, it is never an adopt at the federal level first. It is always either a state or a locality adopting it, a few others adopting it, and then a mad rush as it is adopted federally. So, I mean this seriously. When there are essentially 4 states which, if we just adopted all of their progressive policies, we would have a stronger welfare system than Europe, for the most part. Assuming California can get universal healthcare underway. So that's one of them. California, namely LA County. New York, namely New York City. Boston, in Massachusetts. And Portland in Oregon. Those 4 cities and their 4 states, if we just took their policies and mushed them together, we would have one of the strongest safety nets in the world. We're talking essentially almost unlimited paid sick leave, great maternity leave, paternity leave, universal childcare, universal daycare, significantly discounted childcare. None of them have done universal childcare yet. tuition-free community college, and significantly discounted four-year college. Like I said, technically Massachusetts does have universal health care, but California, for example, is on its way to trying to do their own version of a single-payer system. Public transit, the whole nine yards. You just keep adding on to that. Every time they're successful, you can build on it more. And a very important part in all of this, so for example, a part of the reason why Social Security is not expanded across the states, while something like the minimum wage is because according to federal law, states can't increase the payouts from Social Security. It's part of the reason why Bill Clinton's welfare reform, while controversial, is still considered, sorry, caught in my throat, a net benefit, because it allowed states to increase the minimum wage. If we allowed states to increase the payout from Social Security, I think at that point we would essentially see a couple of states probably really boost the minimum payment for Social Security. But, yeah, Andrew Yang running for New York mayor, this is great news. I will be trying to cover the New York mayoral race when it happens, because like I said, it's like a governor's race, but in my opinion, with a bit more teeth to it, because when New York enacts something, that's a model for the nation. So, with all that being said, if you like the video, drop a like and a comment down below. If you want to hear more from me outside of YouTube, I have a Twitter, @OneManThinkTan1, the Roman numeral, link in the description below. If you want to see more from this channel, click the subscribe button and the notification bell. And, as always, and most importantly, have a wonderful day.